Achim Aw-Thum, macam cuy sko oil po, kemo hukam skikik amjit, kemo cukron, jam hap cicikik on Akamar Aw-Thum, Maricopa, akjin, dona Aw-Thum. Sis apt taat matamo aaka kamo hai chom agi. Matabajuk homa ya bui ami bui chida masad Royce Manuel. Matabajuk bui matahawa machida masad Smithsonian National Museum American Indian Artist Leadership Program. Ya, tabaju matamo mamchi como hajar amarsha mata si anakok mata mo bui ida masat Kiaha. Sis apt tat mata bajuk iwamik ab bui ida mabaka Kiaha. Mata baju mo hokyo abaju mata bui chmu mata pubi hukam utako. Ida Kiaha up masi up the way achim Aw-Thum.
Years ago, I looked at all different kinds of craft work. We already had a bow from my dad, so my dad was given a bow back in 1926. He was born in 1920. It was given to him by his grandfather the first time he met him down at the railroad station in Phoenix. So we've always had that as something to play with. But then as I got older, I thought about the different things that my grandparents would talk about being a man and what was kind of all involved in it, and the different kinds of craft work that was there. Man, this is something else. Look at how they did the wrap. Because this is tied here, but it's secured down there at the back of the bottom. One of the things that I really looked at was to make a burden basket, because there is a story that we had, which is that a man makes the burden basket, but when he does it, he puts a part of himself into it, and so when he does make it for his woman, he actually brings it to life by the craftsmanship that he puts into it.
I just always kind of had an interest in, in our culture, our part of our culture that, from the past, and just growing up, always, always knew it was Aw-Thum, but just never really saw much of our culture out there. And one of the ways I felt to get more of the language, to get more of the culture, was to learn about things of the past and to try to start researching those and getting the names for the objects. And then I started looking at some of the objects and, started producing them and trying to learn the language, to make them, not just, like I said, the materials and the objects itself, but, how do you say, cut this or, wrap this or, tie it or, those kind of things.
I am Jigik Juanita Homer, Muamjit, Sikota, Mashat, Hubishit, Witchit, Oida, Kabahomach, Amaki, Mashabit, Komchkid, Owalsikum, Hayabaga, Walsitkum. My name is Juanita Homer. I live originally from Newfields, and right now I live in Cells, and we also call it in Aw-Thum, it's the turtle wedge. Really grew up, I guess, probably the last part of where people didn't have electricity, running water, there was, everything was either planted or harvest from the land, from the desert.
From below this, right here, we'll trim off the bottom on this one.
As children, We would always be the person to go with grandma when she's, let's say she's gonna go cut the agave leaves or get the yucca. She'd be teaching us how to get that yucca.
What was done out here was when they cooked the hearts, they dug a pit big enough to at least accommodate 8 to 10 hearts. They put the hearts down. They first build a huge fire, and then they pull all the coals out, and then put all the hearts inside there, and then they put these leaves on top of it, and then cover the whole thing.
Even though we didn't go with Royce to go cut the leaves, but yet he still showed us this is how it's boiled, this is how it's prepared.
See how those fibers are? And all that pulp is being mashed.
So my grandparents from my mom's side was, they were very traditional, and I feel that what little I've learned from them has helped me in a lot of ways. And right now, this was a personal challenge for me.
See this hand, when you hold it here, this doesn't move at all. Mm-hmm. So this goes and then brings over. All I'm doing is...
When my grandmother passed away, I was very close to her. She taught me how to make baskets, and somewhere between learning how to make baskets when I was small and getting caught up in the life of today, being married, having children, having to work, and trying to establish, a solid ground for my family, I lost that along the way.
It's always been it's been a journey to find my Aw-Thum himda, the way of the life of an Aw-Thum, I guess. We are sometimes called the 1%ers. We're still here, we still exist, and we're trying to slowly understand who we are as indigenous people. And to find that, we have to go back to the simple things and understanding the plants, and that our Aw-Thum people, that are non-Comas Aw-Thum, all the Indian people, they had to somehow survive.
This is what he did with this, but you can see where you can work on that a little bit more too. But he also wants to do a flute. And so I actually bring the material, so he's going to be sitting here making this flute. And the flute is a man's instrument, so for him to do it now, he'd be all ready for the ladies. It took me 9 months to make a burning basket, but we did need to give them an understanding what it is, to use their hands and to understand what it is to collect, what it understands to prepare the materials, to pound out out of the leaf itself. And so they were able to accomplish that.
That's how Mama does it. Hold on, I still don't have it latched right yet. I'm letting my elders know that, okay, look at what I'm learning. That's what I told one of my great aunties. She's 85, and I told her, I'm working with the agave. I'm making cordage. I'm gonna make a burden basket, I told her, and she kind of just, she smiled at me. She was so happy, and I said, did you do that? She said, no. I said, did your mom do that? She said, yes. I said, okay, then I'm gonna come show you what I'm doing, because I want you to know, that it continues, so it makes her real happy. Okay, then you gotta hold it.
We're carrying this on, this is, something that's part of our history, something that was almost forgotten, if it wasn't for Royce and some of the other weavers that have held on to the knowledge of the plant, and to see that now, with the the students we've had, that each of them are going to carry it on in in a different way.
Heavy inside them?
Grapefruit?
The grape is a little bit bigger, but you can see what I'm saying. It accommodates.
I have grandkids that I hope to pass this down to. At least I'll have something that they know that their grandmother did or their mom did, just like my grandparents did. I have something of them that I look at every day and I say, that's my grandma. That's she took the time to make this for me.
Coming to this workshop is I was last night we had our reception and I saw my little name and it said a work in progress and my little rope was out there, and everybody's little ropes are out there and their little designs, and I really it just really impacted me because of I think people had that pride.
It's going to be part of our lives again. It's like losing the things we made are people. The plant is a people. So last night when they said this was a little girl, the burning basket, you know, we lost her. And it's like getting her back. That she is alive and she lives through the plants and she lives through us. And so that's that real close bond. It's kind of unexplainable, but it's the best I can do for now.
For me to be granted to do this was really something special. And given the opportunity, I would do it again, because it really did open my eyes and it really educated me a lot more than my 15 years. I could just feel like I can go on for another, 20, 30 years because of all the information that I have right now.
We call it a workshop, but I think it's Aw-Thum himdak. It's the way of life. And Royce was mentioning that last night. It's himdak. It's not a workshop. It's himdak. It's the way of life.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you just grab it. Start doing it. Yeah, that's where you start.
And the older plant, this might be the younger one. You'll see, because this has been start thinning out